That's it, Red. Full time.
There it is. That's your full-time whistle. It's finished. Burnley 1, Brighton 1 at Turf Moor. Not the result that we wanted, but a lot of people earlier on in the comments were saying it's a must not lose rather than a must win. I'd have liked to have won it because we'd have gone 11 points clear of Fulham, and I think that would have been pretty much game, set, match for relegation. I don't think we'd have gone down if we'd have gone 11 points clear. You're not going to see a 22-point swing at this stage of the season, I don't think. But we've gone 9 points clear of them. And if West Ham beat them today, then we're 9 points clear of them. So fingers crossed that can happen. Just before we get into the usual stuff, because we will, of course, be doing the match reaction like we always do, I'll just give a quick shout out. I'm mainly shouting this out to Kieran and Robert Benson, if you're still in the chat, because Kieran always says to me, "Oh, you need to remind me, mate." I'm reminding you now. This is your reminder. Please get on board with the fan reaction. We're always looking for more people to get involved. Basically, I just want you to send me a video of yourself talking about this game and you're giving your thoughts on the match, just for 1 to 3 minutes, something like that. And then you will, of course, be in the match reaction show, and you will, of course, then be in the podcast next week as well. And if Anti-Football is still watching, so I saw a comment earlier from him or her on YouTube. We didn't do one for the what game were it? The Chelsea game, no, the City game, because we only got one sent in, and it were Anti-Football. So please, if you want to get involved, please send your fan reactions in, and you will get included into next week's fan reaction and the podcast as well. But now was our match reaction, and just before we get into the match reaction, I think we can both agree on the man of the match.
Yeah, for me anyway, it's Matt Lawton.
Yeah, I agree. Matt Lawton for me. Get your comments in as well. I know a few people will probably go JBG, I presume, because having said that, it's JBG's fault, that goal. Not just his fault. He's part of the problem in that goal. He should have cleared that off the line. But it's Matt Lawton for me. I thought he was absolutely class. And Simon's quickly, frantically making a graphic now, bringing it in. And we will hopefully get something on screen soon for you. There we go. Oh, Simon put it in, then I took it. And then, so there you go. Matt Lawton is the man of the match from me and Simon. We're both giving him the man of the match. But yeah, it's time for the match reaction. Simon, what's your thoughts on the game? And everybody in the comments, get your comments in and we will read the best ones out. Simon, your thoughts on that match?
Well, ultimately, the score says different, but I saw huge improvements. How many chances were in the end? I don't remember now, but the 12 chances in the first hour created is a lot more than we have done all season, if in my opinion. It said coming with the start of the day that we'd only won 1 out of 10 going down. Well, yeah, now done 11, and we've got a draw and we've won, and both of them have come in a week. You know, we had Villa last week.
Yeah,
Villa,
so it does look like to see that tide's turning a little bit, and maybe we're getting his confidence back.
Yeah, massively. The link-up play, I do think Jack Corr, he needs more game time, but I do think there's a massive difference and improvement from him being back in this squad. Whether we agree on who Brownhill or Westwood should partner him is another argument. But the improvement's massive, absolutely massive. And the sort of mentality to go in at half-time when you're 1-0 down, you've only come back from 1, and to come back from it is not to be sort of like snubbed, really. I think we were impressive in a lot of areas today, and if it weren't for that one moment of concentration, we should have won that comfortably.
Yeah, I'm disappointed because the second half was so good. This is my fan reaction. I'm disappointed they haven't won the match because that second half was so good. And I know Sean will come out and say all his usual bollocks about fan margins, and I'm going to sound like an idiot there for saying all his usual shite, because I'm saying the same thing. If we didn't make them 2 mistakes on that corner, we would have won that game 1-0. And if that chance that Tarky had in the first half, if that goes in, it's a completely different game. Then there's some other chances in the first half, and then there's all that pressure in the second half. I'm disappointed we haven't won it. I'm happy we haven't lost it, obviously, because Brighton would have been 4 or 5 points ahead of us, and that wouldn't have been nice to see. But it's another point on the road to safety, so I'm pretty happy with that. Just looking at the comments, I'll quickly scroll up. Says Dr. Holiday. That's a very unusual name, but I like it. Says 9 points above the drop now. Chris Brandon says, I enjoyed that, lads. Thank you. No, thank you, Chris, for watching. I'll put you on the stream. Please share it in future. Come on, give it a watch and share it. We enjoy doing it. It's probably the best, the thing that I enjoy doing the most, to be honest, now on this page. Lynn says, a point is a point. She's gone for Johan as man of the match. Ian says, cheers, lads. Joy says, better than a defeat. Lynn says, many thanks for the watch along. No worries, Lynn. Kieran's gone for great second half performance. A lot better with Vids in the team. We play a lot better football. I don't necessarily disagree with that, mate. I think we tend to play more attacking football, but I don't know. I think Vidra played very well, to be fair, but he just needs to start scoring goals. He's not clinical enough, and that's always been his problem, and that's still his problem. Jade says, Lawton, man of the match. John Corbett says, Vidra, Lawton, Goodmanson all played well. Barnes was a passenger. Can't believe he didn't get subbed off for Jay Rod. I would have liked to have seen Barnes taken off.
Agree. I think that's
80th minute or so. Yeah, more so Jay coming on, to be honest. Cassandra says, thanks for today, guys. I love watching it. Jade has also said Lawton man of the match. Then Laura Batana says, is it pronounced Lawton or Lawton? Presume she's meant, is it pronounced Lawton or Lawton? I do both of them, but if you haven't seen it already, Laura, we did interview him on TurfCast last March, and that's the first question I asked him. I said, just to get things started, is it Lawton or Lawton? He went, it's actually Lawton. So it's from the horse's mouth, it's Lawton. But
Josh still calls him Lawton.
I still call him Lawton because it's muscle memory, and I've always done it. And I blame Phil Bird. It's Phil Bird's fault that I call him Lawton because Phil Bird calls him Lawton. So every time I'm going on Clarets player and he's like, and it's Lawton, I'm like, oh, it just goes in my head. Robert Benson says better side second half. It's all refreshed and gone upwards. I'll just try and find Robert's. There it is. Need to keep things going now with Charlie coming back. Yeah, I agree with that. James Smith says, I don't think anyone can disagree with Lawton, man of the match. Anthony Rue says, Lawton was class today. A great partnership with JBG on the right. Anti-Football says, Vidra, man of the match for me. Interesting. Just after we said someone, literally like 2 seconds ago, someone said, you can't disagree with that. James Harrison's also gone Vidra. Stuart McDonough says, Vidra has proved himself for me today. He looked worthy of a place in the starting lineup. Anthony Rue says, when we don't long ball up front past the feet, we are different, enjoyable team to watch. Yeah, but then it's we can argue that we didn't get the win. Would we have got the win with Wood up front? Some people might say definitely not because we haven't been winning this season, have we? The bad news is obviously that Newcastle have won. Kieran Phillips says he sent me his fan reaction. I ain't got it yet, mate, to be honest. I haven't got it yet. Roy Taylor says, good second half. We still need 3 class players. There's 3 class players hopefully coming back into the side soon in a bit, Roy. Obviously, Charlie Taylor. And then obviously the other 2 are arguments, I guess. Chris Wood, would you put him back in? I'd put him back in ahead of Barnes today, put it that way. And then there's Brownhill. We've had that debate on that already. James Smith says, you say not clinical enough, Vidra, whereas his clear-cut chance you can say 100% should have put away.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think he should. I do think it's a good save, but I do think he isn't clinical enough.
Johnny Tate would have a field day today because, like you said, if Wood had had that many shots on goal and not scored, he'd have been hung out to dry.
Yeah, and I've just realised he says, I'll reword that because that's not what James Seppi says. You say he's not clinical enough, Vidra. Where was his clear-cut chance that you can say 100% should have put away? That one.
I disagree completely with that.
that one that the keeper saved. I admit it's a good save from the keeper more than a bad miss. But as we said at the time, mate, I don't know if you're in the chat at that point, Wood scores that chance, but Wood doesn't get that chance. I've tried to say that several times. I don't think it's made sense at any point, but Wood wouldn't get that chance that Vidra had, but Wood would have scored it if he got that chance. Anyway, but yeah, John Corbett says, Dyche does say get in positions. That's what Vidra definitely did today. I'd agree with that. He did. I thought he played well. I'm not criticising him. I just feel he needs to start scoring some goals. It's all well and good, as Laura said earlier. It's all well and good having all this movement, but a striker's job is to put the ball in the back of the net. A striker that doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, in her words, is a shit striker. I don't think he's shit, but he does need to start putting the ball in the back of the net. James Smith says Wood doesn't get that chance because he's like a block of wood. That's what I'm hinting at. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's a block of wood, but he doesn't have the movement that Vidra has. That's obviously what I'm trying to say, mate. And Kieran's saying the same thing. I agree with both of you, but he needs to be more clinical, does Vidra, for me. Anyway, we've got West Ham Fulham coming up later on. Fingers crossed for a West Ham win. Then we're 9 points clear of the drop in February, and which is good. Anything you want to add, Simon? Because I've just sort of like ranted for the last 5 minutes, haven't I?
No, mate, I've enjoyed it. It's good to see. I'm just reading some of the comments, but yeah, definitely, I agree with Daniel. Bit good. We didn't get the 3 points. And like I said, the score reflects a different story to what I'm saying, really. But I think we play really well. And they didn't really threaten us that much. It was just that one moment. So
that one moment, yeah. I thought, I hate to constantly nick Johnny. It's such a perfect way of describing Brighton. All fart, no smell. You can sit there and go on about how much possession you have and how well you play football. They didn't create any chances. The chance they scored from it, we should have marked up better, and Goodmanson on the post should have cleared it. But anyway, that's our match review. It will be available on YouTube in around about half an hour. Fingers crossed if the upload speed's good and the editing doesn't take too long. But I just want to quickly, again, give you all a reminder. If you want to get involved in the fan reaction, then you can do. Please just send us your videos. It's turfcastpodcast@gmail.com. If you follow us on social media, you can send it on the social media channels. Please send it to the TurfCast page rather than me personally if you're going to send it on social media, because I sometimes don't see the messages on my personal page. If you do know me personally, like Kieran does in a way, send it to me via WhatsApp, and Robert Benson, he sends it to via WhatsApp as now, and then it's just so easy to download. But yeah, please get it all sent in, and the fan reaction will be up tomorrow if we have enough people sending them in, and we will be back for a watch along potentially on Tuesday, but it is my birthday and it is the FA Cup, so I'm not sure, but we're definitely back for the podcast next Thursday as well. But thank you for watching.